Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to an episode of Tetsudo Mokei. I'm your host, Kennedy. It's been a while, hasn't it? Been several months since I last did an episode. So, this is actually the beginning of season two, and this is the first episode for season two. And this time, there's going to be a few changes, as you can see right here. You guys can see me, Kennedy, the VTuber, now hosting the show. And for those of you who are new to the podcast, it's where I discuss everything about Japanese trains, model trains, and even touch upon train video games and so forth. So it's something that you guys can catch. I'm not sure how often I'm going to do it. I know before, I think I was doing it almost what every week or several times a week. But you know what? I need to take a break. There's only so much I can do. So, for if anything, I don't want to get burned out because I think what happened was I was just doing it so many times, and man, I was just getting tired. There's just there's only so much train content that we could discuss. I mean, there's a lot of news content, but in a way, I was thinking, I don't know if I want to do too much of train news unless it's major. um, I don't want to get into the negative stuff because I figured, there's stuff there that you guys probably are familiar with, stuff that's going on, especially in the United States, and all the troubles that trains are having. I don't want to really get into that or the crime and stuff like that. I would rather focus on the stuff that makes people happy, and that's all I care about. And I'm sure that's all you guys care about. Unless you live in those metropolitan cities where it's being affected, then I can understand. But yeah, let's go ahead and let's talk. Let's see, what should we start out with first? Let's go ahead and do this one right here. Okay, so one of the big news that has happened is Dovetail Games Train Simulator Classic 2024 is pretty much being, well, it's actually available now. So, so what is it? So, the game is celebrating its 15th year anniversary, and so what they're doing is that they're releasing an exclusive deluxe edition and a brand new rail subscription and a free update. So, what is the free update? That includes performance improvements, update to tools, new command line options, and a range of fixes and updates to improve your experience with the simulator. There's also a 2024 routes refresh, so you can journey to 5 countries and take a tour of over 450 kilometers of rails. It also includes 5 authentic routes with 12 locomotives to experience. So I think that's pretty awesome right there. And also the exclusive deluxe edition right there. So you get the Pennsylvania Railroad class GG1, the striking Art Deco shell, the DBBR 411 Ice T High Speed MU, and the British Speed, or EMU, I'm sorry, and the British Steam Legend LNER Peppercorn Class A2 Blue Peter. Okay, and then with the subscription, what this does is that, um, so you get the subscription includes the base game and 39 DLC add-ons. That's pretty cool, but I imagine it's curated. So, um, yeah, I think it is curated. So, but for the most part, I think that's a good deal. Um, so, how should I explain what Train Simulator is? As you can tell, it's celebrating its 15th anniversary, but that also means it's 15 years old. And why would you want to play a game that's 15 years old, right? Well, let me get a drink of water here. So if my eyes start going crazy, I apologize. Weird reaction there. Okay. Okay, so what Train Simulator Classic is the 15-year-old game, and it's a game that has been updated over time. The thing is, despite the graphics of what 2009 or so, yeah, It's, yes, it's aged, but they have created so many DLCs. Companies have created so many DLCs that push the graphics to its limits, and they continually release DLCs that fans of the game love it. They don't want to leave. They're cool with the way things are. They love the gameplay. They know it's not going to be the greatest in graphics, but it's for the hardcore train fans. I actually enjoy this game. I have many, if not all, of the DLCs. I know I don't have the expensive ones, but I have probably maybe close to 90%. That's how, because they often go on sale. I don't have all the Japan-based ones yet, as I'm the kind of person that I could wait a little while because I have so much content. I'm in no rush. But Train Simulator Classic is known for its difficulty. So let's say that you are a conductor and you have to ride a train for an hour and a half. Well, the game, you're going to have to ride an hour and a half. Yes, you can pause and go to the bathroom, I suppose, but the thing is that this is for people who want that complete experience. And some people may find it tough. Whereas their other game, Train Sim World, is more arcade-like. The routes are much shorter. There are some long ones, but it's much shorter than Train Simulator Classic, and the graphics are way better, much more modern, better graphic user interface, and it's a lot smoother and it pushes the limits. And I think if anything, it's great. But what they're going to push for, I believe, is they're going to be pushing for a numbered version possibly every year. There's a lot of speculation. They're like, oh, Train Sim World will be coming out in October 2025 possibly for the fifth version. The fourth one, by the way, is currently on sale on Steam. We'll go right here. Right here. So they're having their midweek madness, and everything is on sale. Especially Train Sim World 4, which is the latest version of the Train Sim World. If you want the best in graphics, then get this game. It's on sale for $11.99, but you can get the deluxe version, which has a load of stuff, for $14.99. So it's definitely worth getting, especially for all those DLCs. And if you like the game, then definitely get the other DLC. Just do not go too crazy. My best advice for you, as a person who also owns these games, is get what you want and play one game until you complete it. I think for me, being a train fan, I buy them all. And guess what? As you probably known from my video game podcast, there's a lot of backlog. So the thing is that do you have enough time to play every route? Some people do that, especially with the airplane games. There are like DCS or Microsoft the simulator. Is that I say that right? But people will play those games for the rest of their lives. There's people I know who play the same racing game for the past 10 years or so. And hey, I do the same thing as well with certain like with the WRC games I've been playing for a long time. Even Gran Turismo I still play for a long time. But Train Simulator Classic and Train Sim World are probably the best known and the largest train games in the world. Japan does have JRE Simulator, which is more of like video based, and it's not as complex or challenging as Train Simulator Classic or Train Sim World. But the thing is, depending on what kind of gamer you are, I think for the most part, I think you'll like Train Sim World 4. If you want more of a challenge, and again, you want those super long routes, then get Train Simulator Classic. And the good thing about both games, especially for Classic, they go on sale quite a bit, especially for the DLCs. Again, graphics are not the greatest, but still, you get a lot of content. And if you enjoy that, then definitely check it out. So as you can see here, there's a lot of Train Sim um, world games on sale right now, but definitely, you definitely want to wait. I say the sweet spot is when they get over 40 to 50%. If you could get it for that price, or even 70, as you can see here. Oh, the cool thing about Train Sim World is some of the older stuff works on, up to Train Sim World 4. Now for, and you would also see a compatible symbol, like you can see on here, the black and they'll say Train Sim World compatible. So if there are older trains from Train Sim World 1 or 2, you can play them on 3 and you can play them on 4. And I hope they continue this on for 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on. But again, um, that's one of the benefits of getting any of the Train Sim World or Train Simulator Classics. Classics have been going 15 years, so and those things still run. But with that being said, remember you need a lot of disk space because these games can take up space, and so you just definitely do not want to load. Well, some people may want to. If you want to be a hardcore train video game enthusiast, then you probably have a terabyte of space, and you can just download and install the whole thing if you want. But if you are someone who is just trying to just get into the game and do not want your hard drive full, then you could definitely select which DLCs through the options. So just remember, you go to your library and you could click on the DLCs for that game. So just right click on the game on Steam and you could definitely see how that works out, so you don't have to utilize your whole disk space. So that is right there, Dovetail Games for Train Simulator Classic and Train Simulator World. Definitely check that out. Now, the next thing we're going to get into right now is Plarail. Plarail is, of course, for their plastic rails. Some of you were probably seen these blue rails. A lot of people you may have heard of them because of the Thomas the Train games. But the thing is, you definitely want to, check these trains out if you want to save money. I guess you could say that when it comes to trains, there are the supermodel trains and then these plastic trains. These plastic trains run on AA batteries. Um, Back then, they used to take those big, thick D-sized batteries, but they don't really sell those anymore. So now they're usually taking, they take about one AA or so. But they're definitely worth checking out. Some of them have sound and have the actual announcements, but they all run through battery powered, and they're great for kids and for adults, people who love collecting trains but do not want to spend a lot of money. And what I mean by that is that a train can cost up to $10 to $20 for a Plarail, but if you buy a KATO or Tomix train, it could go, or Greenmax, it could go up to almost $150 to $500 depending on the version that you get. So just know that if you want to get into model trains, you have your choices. You could get the ones that are, with Plarails, which are battery based, or you could get the Tomix or KATO versions, which are electric based, where you have to pretty much put the tracks together and build a diorama. Like you see what I have pretty much done. Hold on here, not there, but like I have done for my collection, if I can get to it. Oh, right here. So as you can see right there with the trees and everything, and the multiple train tracks, that's what I got going. And also, you definitely want to have the space for it. But yeah, we'll go ahead and see what is coming out for Plarail. Takara Tomy is also celebrating its 100th anniversary. So Takara Tomy is Japan's most famous toy brand. They make Tomika, they make Plarail, and the list goes on. They Shinkarion, if you watch the anime series, that train-based anime series, like Transformer-like, But let's see here. Um, let's see here for releases. I think these are just the regular train listings right here. So we're not going to go into that because I you can go back into previous episodes to see what I've discussed. But we're looking for pretty much what is out there and what is new. So let's see here. We got it's the information. They usually have a listing. You know what? For you guys who need the English, let me go ahead and put the translator on for you right here. Okay, those are the Dr. Yellows right there. Looking through the Plarail. Okay, June 2024. Okay, so June 2024 information is now out. Let's check it out. Okay, so you have an original Plarail white stream. Um, so what you're seeing here is Plarail has been begun releasing their original trains. I think if anything is that it's their design and they don't have to pay licenses, I guess, to the big train companies. But this is, a lot of people are not really fans of these original ones, but kids, if you're a parent and you want to get something for a child that'll just run just fine, definitely check out these original ones. But if you're hardcore train fans, you definitely want a train that, that is actual, that is real. So, this one is another one. This is another popular track that comes with another original Plarail train. And here you got the linked E8 series Tsubasa and Tomika Arch Crossing set, which is pretty cool for kids right there. You get the whole set and the Shinkansen right there of the E8. And here you get the sea and railway tracks. So this is great for those who want to create like elevated lifts for your train. And again, they're battery based, so and it gives a chance for the kids to put things together really easily. But just know that if you are planning to get into Plarail, you definitely want to get a lot of blue tracks and different connectors, especially for um, the short connectors. Something that allows for the connections to extend a little bit or to balance itself right. You'll probably know what I'm talking about if you watch again my past videos, especially where I test out Plarail trains. So, and here's the Thomas the Train, Gogo Thomas, Nia Bruno, Wife Friend set. And you got the Thomas Cross Baton. Let's go with May here. So right now this month they had the Tobacco Animal Wrapping Train. So what these animal wrapping trains is, they're a just pure plastic with stickers all around. Great for kids, but for those who are collectors, you definitely want those that have actual windows, like holes in the plastic, versus a faux um, sticker-based uh, train. So you got the Tobacco Aquarium Wrapping Train, and that is pretty much it. My goodness, I thought there would be more. I know it's been a while. So we got the Plarail Dog Express S57. Um, this one, yeah, this one looks like. Okay, let's see here. We got the 201 Commuter Series. This is actually very cool. This is a Plarail Real Class. And this is what I want to talk about. For those of you who are new and were wondering about Plarail, you got the Plarail with the blue tracks, definitely for the kids, but Takara Tomy wanted to create Plarail for adults. So they created these, which are more realistic, a little bit higher, taller than the regular standard Plarail. They could run on the blue plastic tracks, but instead, with the Plarail Real Class, they add these gray tracks right here. So they come in these type of boxes, and you always get 3 tracks. But yeah, this is the Plarail Real Class. These are snap-on top areas, and this is great. I mean, the thing is that they have more detail than a standard Plarail, and but the thing is though, it's the price difference. Whereas a Plarail can go from, for a full three set train, you pay around what, 15 to 20 bucks. With Plarail Real Class, you're gonna have to pay at least 50, 55 bucks or so, which is 7,700 yen. But with the weakening yen, things are a lot more cheaper for those of you who are outside of Japan. So we're gonna go ahead and check out what's coming out for Tomix now. We're gonna go to the model trains. So what do we have here? Well, let's go ahead and check out what we see here. Okay, we're gonna put the translation on for you guys to see, but my gosh, look at this one, this high grade. I'm not sure if this is part of it, but we're gonna go ahead and go through the catalog here. And I see they have a video release right there. But let's go ahead and start with this. You got the JNR 401. So JNR is, the name of trains before they were broken off into, like right now you have JR East, JR West. Before they were split off, they were just one major company, JNR, and that was way in the past, not anymore. Part of the reason why they split off is for money. They needed to break it off, and in a way, it worked out for the like JR East, because a lot of these smaller, well, not smaller, but a lot of these, when the companies broke off, they all became money making and profitable companies. If you go to Japan, what do you see at the railroad station? A lot of shopping malls, and the shopping malls are owned by these train stations. So they own hotels, they own real estate, they own so many things that they're profitable. I mean, the thing is, for Japanese culture and life, the train's a big part of your life. And where are people going to be at stopping at? A lot of these big train stations. So you will see a lot of these major train stations, especially Ikebukuro, Shibuya, Shinjuku, Tokyo Station, with a lot of restaurants and a lot of places to visit inside. But the more subway or the more rural type of train stations, um, they try to make money through um, collaborations with uh, like popular anime series or baseball teams. But yeah, that's something that you'll see in Japan quite a bit of. But you'll notice a lot of train stations that are unable to make money, and they end up unfortunately closing down. So that's a sad thing right there. And I always talk about it on this podcast, that you wish that a lot of these train stations find a way to reach out to people to travel to their station. I think, and um, boosting profits at least somehow. But some places are doing it, like Hiroshima. These smaller places have teamed up with like their baseball team, Hiroshima Carp, to create some event. There's also a lot of anime events in these smaller areas that people could ride these trains. I've done it many times. Again, look at my past episodes to see those adventures of various trains that I visited, train stations I visited, and you'll see a lot of content featuring places trains that I feel that are cool. But okay, let's go ahead and check out. So the JNR, again, the JNR is a classic train company, and so they're releasing the 401 series right here, as you can see, which is a great thing, by the way. Did I go past? No, here it is. So the JNRs, one of the benefits of this is that you get these classic trains from from the 50s, 60s, or 70s, or 80s. Um, but the thing is that I think these are for the people who are really nostalgic, or hardcore train collectors. They're not cheap by any means. As you can see here, with tax included, it's supposed to be released in November 2024. It'll cost 23,100 yen. That's about what 175, 180 bucks right there. So it is a lot, but that is how things are in Japan right now. Um, the cost of these trains have gone up quite a bit. Part of it is because of the engine, the parts that come to making these, and but again, the benefit is for those who live outside of Japan. It is what it is. The uh, the the yen is quite cheap. It's weak right now, so let's say that before you used to have an equal amount. Let's say that we'll use this as an example. Back then, when you saw 1,000 yen, that meant $10. So just remember those two zeros. You just remove that for U.S. dollar currency. So if you had 1,000 yen, that meant $10. If you had 10,000 yen, that means you had $100. But it's come to the point now where if you see something, let's say like a video game, and it costs 1,000 yen, well, it's no longer equal. That means that your $6 USD dollars is equal to 1,000 yen. So in Japan, if they bought something in if you bought something in Japan, it's going to be you get a major discount. I mean, that's, to be blunt, that's what it is. And you'll see a lot of news about this, especially recently. I think it was even today that I saw the news about how Chinese tourism has gone crazy in Japan, and a lot of these people are buying out a lot of products because of the weakening yen. So they're going to a lot of these shops like Louis Vuitton, and even some of the model and anime stores. They're buying a lot of them because their money gets more mileage right now because of the weakening yen. But it's the same thing for those of you outside of Japan, especially for those of you in America or Europe. You can get a lot of things cheap right now. So if you see a 150, like a 15,000 yen train, it's not going to be 150 bucks for you anymore. It's going to be like probably close to like 128 to 135, around that range. So Amazon's a great place to get trains cheap, but I think they're catching on of how many people are doing mass buying because of the weakening yen. So what are they doing now? They're tacking on these high shipping fees. Back then, I could order a train and only pay $25 of shipping. But now Amazon started putting this 7,500 yen. I'm like, what? They want to charge $45 to $50 now just for shipping? So you have to look when you see something cheap on Amazon, just remember to look at the shipping costs. It only benefits you if you're going to buy a lot. So the shipping is going to be high anyway, right? So just make sure if you are going to buy from Japan, especially Amazon Japan, that you're intending to buy more than expected, not just one thing. If you're just going to buy one thing, then look at eBay. You might find it cheaper there. Or, check out, there's other sites you can check out for products. So we have here the JNR 401 series, and then you have the JR 165 series, the Tokai basic set for 39,270 yen. That is about 390. That's about close to what, $345 right there. It's high for a basic set. Let's go check it out. Why? The basic set has to have a lot, right, to be that high in price. Yep. Looks like you're getting a lot for your money there. Okay, so the 39,270 yen. It's gonna be kind of line here, so let me go ahead and increase it right here. So we're looking at the sets right now. Okay, so if you're gonna get, my goodness, yeah, it looks like these three trains by itself is gonna be $175, but all these trains right here is gonna be close to like 350 bucks. But um, before these are high grades, by the way, but um, engage high grades. Engage, by the way, if you're getting to model trains for the first time, you have different gauges. X gauge being really small and tiny. N gauge is the standard one that most people use, and the HO grades are the ones that are pretty much the big ones that you see on TV that some of the wealthy people, you could say, tend to have. Uh, Not to say that everyone's wealthy that owns, these higher grades, but the thing is that they cost more money, and to have such a major collection like that, you literally have spent a lot. But for Engage, they are cheap. They are, you know, what we're looking at primarily. I don't want to use the word cheap because for a lot of people, spending $350, or actually total right here, was going to cost you probably close to almost, probably only what, 40, 75 to $500 for the whole set. But just to let you know again, these are high grades, Engage, but in Japan, if you are a collector of trains, anything with the orange and green, I call them the Ueno colors, but orange or green, they tend to sell out quickly, and they tend to be the ones that people tend to pay a lot for secondhand. There's just something about the color scheme that's very popular in Japan. A lot of classic, a lot of areas tend to have trains like this, but um, yeah, especially the Kanagawa prefecture, and well, they're everywhere pretty much. Um, a lot of people like this livery because it's pretty much a classic color. But let's see here. We got the Kintetsu Railway 3000. Oh, we got the Sanriku Railway Type 36. Thank you, Sanriku Railway, for the 40th anniversary. This is something that I usually would get. But let's see what you're getting. Okay, you're getting two trains for 16,500. So that's about $135 right there. Um, you get the 40th anniversary. Now, I have to say that this is only two trains. I'm not sure if the prices have doubled since I last podcast, but back then these usually would cost about 75, so what, 7,500 to 10,000 yen, but looks like they doubled in price, especially just for two trains. That's yikes. But you can still find this train. Unfortunately, it usually comes with only one. Um, but these trains are classic, and if you it's a classic livery that's still around. But to have something with a 40th Arigato sticker for 1984 to 2024, that's pretty cool. Part of me likes it. I would get it if it wasn't that expensive, but I have that train already in my collection. And then you got the JR H100 series diesel car, the Kushirimo line, Hanasaki line, and then you got these diesel locomotives. They're about 85.80, but you can get them like $50 USD from Amazon. And then you got these first car museums are mostly for display. They light up when you put them on the tracks, but that's pretty much it. These are great if you are in the office and you want a train to have right in the front of your desk, but this is not something that you ride around, on your track. But it looks like there's a lot of releases. We got the JR183 1000 that's released this month. You got the GRE233 1000 series. I talked about this back in December because they usually announce May, April, May, and around December time. So I discussed this already with the Kiha releases and so forth. And you got the Kokis, which are the ones that hold the cargo, and the Oda Q romance line. Oda Q tends to go up in price, so just know that anything that says romance car, expect to pay a little bit more for that. So that is Tomix right there. Let's go ahead and check out Kato. Now, Tomix is part of Takara Tomy. Kato is another railroad brand, possibly the most popular one. You'll have people who say Kato's better. You'll see people say Tomix is better. But if you're like me, you could use the best of both worlds because they both work on each other's tracks. Some work better than others, but the way I learned is that they both work on Tomix tracks or Kato tracks. Doesn't matter. Well, some people say, well, okay, let me rephrase that. They work well if you're using standard tracks that don't have many switches. If you're going to get a Tomix track, if you want switches where you can train, to change different tracks. If you're using a Tomix train, stay with Tomix. If you're using a Kato train, then stay with Kato. But if you're using a standard O or a basic track set with no switching, then you could use both on either. It doesn't really matter. So we're going to go ahead and see what Kato has for their September release. Let me go ahead and here. There's the HO gauges, but let's see what they have here. We're going to go ahead and click. So you got the 113 2000s. Remember what I told you about the livery? Orange and green, famous. These guys are also selling one. So this one's going to go about 16060. So about it's about what, 120 bucks or so. But I wish we could see this a little bit more. I can't see it. No, that's the highest we could go. But then you have these sets with this one. You get, I'm not sure if it's 4 trains. It looks like it. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm trying to look at the price right here. Okay, right here. 7-car set, 26,730 yen. So you'll be paying about 240 bucks right there. And then to get the additional 4-car set, it's 12,760. So you're going to be paying about 100 bucks. So overall, if you want all of it, you are going to be paying close to about 280 bucks right there, which is standard. Not bad. But when you start getting to the luxury trains, especially those in Fukuoka, definitely expect to pay more for those. So, okay, then you have the Kato Precision Railroad models, E233 3000. Remember what I told you about the orange and green Wuzo Ueno colors. So there we go. You have one right here with the E233, and this one's a newer release, so this one will cost 15,840 for the set. So expect to pay about 130 bucks. Well, actually no, for the full set, it's 20,680. We gotta check out the PDF for that. It's really hard to see. This small doesn't increase in size, but yeah, that orange and green livery is very popular. Here we go, right here. Okay, and here's how the sets go. So let's go ahead and do a translation on that. So this one is in the Tokaido main line, Tokyo exit, and the transition to JR. So you can read the rest right here. It's coupled with Salo 124, 125, which is equivalent to the two-story green car of the 211 series. And the stainless steel body with only a single silver dot was characteristic of the steel body information. Anyway, you get the 7-car basic set and then the 4-car add-on. And then you can see the price right there. Now, a question you're going to ask yourself is, do you want the full set or not? And here's my feeling about that. For me, I don't need the whole set. And the reason being is that my diorama is only about, 6 foot long? If you have something that is probably over, over 6 feet, probably going, a lot of people have theirs going probably about 15 or 16 feet, then yeah, you could definitely run a full train set. But if you're limited to room, you're probably going to run 2 or 3 trains. You probably could get by with 5, but the thing is for me, I noticed that 3 to 4 is probably the best and without having to push it, because just putting too much will pretty much end up, you're going to have a lot of things to pick up. And those are the last things that you definitely do not want to deal with. And that is broken. You don't want any of your connections or any of the plastic pieces breaking off because because the train crashed or flipped over or whatever on your track. Of course, speed has something to do with that. But the thing is that sometimes when a crash happens, sometimes when one train derails, something similar to real life, everything starts to derail. And if depending on how high your tracks are, if they fall and they hit somewhere else, remember the trains themselves are kind of not heavy, but they can, by landing, they can break stuff off. So you just have to be careful. That's why for some trains I like to buy tracks that have rails to protect themselves so they don't easily fall off. But that comes into the part where when you're choosing your diorama and the pieces that you purchase. So, okay, we're at 42 minutes right now. I'm going to wrap things up soon, but this is the Ueno one. The E233 Series 3000 series. So, let's see here. This is the main suburban train that connects the major arteries of the metropolitan area and is operated in the maximum of 15 cars, coupled with other E233 series or E231 series. You can enjoy the atmosphere of the Ueno Tokyo line, where various trains come and go, along with the E231 series and limited express trains, such as the E259 series, E261, and the E257 series that are in operation on the same line. So here we go. For 4 cars, they want 15,840. So, yes, prices have gone up quite a bit. There was a time when I could get this for about 125,000, but before, let's see here. I'll have to check this out. Hold on. Let me bring this up here. I'm kind of curious myself now, because that's one thing where Amazon Japan is really cool, is making sure the prices are cheaper than retail. Okay, so remember how I said this one's going for 15,840? Well, 10,102.67. Yep, this is it. On Amazon, it goes for 13,180. So you save about $20 right there. And then if you buy the 4-car 1268, 13,310, Amazon offers it for 10,000 yen. So about $80 versus 110 or so. So you do get that savings from Amazon, especially because of the weakening yen. That means you get even cheaper. So that's another plus for you guys. It sucks for those in Japan, and I know already. A lot of people are hurting over there, especially with the finances, and everything keeps on going up, and it just doesn't seem like it's getting any better. It's actually getting worse. I think it was just a few weeks ago where they were already getting like 157. Um, it was like when you see the yen worth about 140 or higher, that means you get more of a discount. The higher it is, the better it is for you guys. But terrible for those in Japan. That means that it's going to be inflation. I mean, it's just things are just going up in price there. So in a way, they are relying on tourism, and I think if anything for Japan, what is helping them out is they have people overseas who are willing to buy the products, and they could still earn money at that, you know. But again, it is what it is, and it's unfortunate. But at the same time, for those of you who live outside of Japan, those are opportunities you do want to take advantage of, especially if you're collecting trains. You definitely go online and you'll see the difference in price. So, we got the HO gauge of the OHA 35 and the Suha 43. These are classic trains right there. But that is for KATO. I mean, there's other companies out there, but for now, I just wanted to focus on what is going on. Um, we have more right here for August, July through September. Actually, you get that E353. Oh, that's going to be a really nice one right there. It's just a single train, 3,850. Oh, is that a? I think that's their. It's a new line. That's not the. It can't be the actual train that rides. But then you have these other ones here. The DD51. That is very nice. I like the DD series a lot, especially because this was the one that rides in the colder snow areas, if I recall. But look at this one. It has snow all over. The ED76 500s. This one goes for 9020 yen. So that's about, what, 60 bucks or so for this train. So you'll find a lot of these single trains or double trains that are cheaper. You definitely want to take advantage of those. Oh, look at this one right here. The Yakumo Limited Express 273. So this will be out in 2025. What else do they have planned here? Super Kuroshio 381. Look at that. The colors of McDonald's and the cover color of Shell. Probably popular in the 80s, but yeah, the set for 6 car set 24,860. In a way, for those of you who are new to the train sets, usually it's most of the other train cars in that big set. The smaller sets usually come with the front, the second one possibly, and the back. So if you want to collect them, you definitely know you're going to have to get the shorter set because you want that front and back because that's what pretty much makes your trains move. And then if you want to grow your train set, then you could add these other train cars. But again, it's really up to you if you can manage to hold all those trains on your tracks. But that is KATO right there. And then they have the D51s, the Seki 3000, and the Yo 3500. These are classic right here. You got that D51. The D51 is a classic steam train that you will see in Japan. I've seen several up close and personal, and they move them around. They move them around for I guess for people to see. It's almost one of those. When I went, it was in Kyoto, and it was near when I was going to the bamboo forest. Right next to the station was a D51, and pretty much they removed it since then. But they have these trains, these old steam trains they're being put into, I guess, areas to bring out tourism, because they know a lot of people are train fans in Japan, and for a lot of people, the steam trains are just classics that you don't see anymore. Um, yeah, you don't really see them anymore. So, and I think it's the same thing here in the U.S. too. I know there are. A friend of mine told me there are some steam tracks that are still available, um, but mainly in the, I don't know. I think he said like somewhere in maybe the north region of of the U.S. or so. But um, I think it goes through those mountain regions. But I don't. I have not kept up with steam trains in the U.S., so I really don't know. But or that could have been something in the past. But he rides trains all the time, so he actually travels all across the United States and the world riding different trains, and I think that's something awesome that he does. So, um, let's see here. This is for May, August. This one looks like the looking at the colors here. Looks the E217. Isn't that the one that goes through Kanagawa? Don't remember. And then you got the 700S. Oh, this one's a sound box. Sound box is a device that you could purchase for your Kato that has a card that makes the sounds like when it's braking or the sounds of the train. I think the sound box is something that enthusiasts want to have, especially if they're having full control of their trains and they want to um, have that feeling of almost being on the train. Granted, you can also experience the same thing with Plarail through their Shinkansen. You'll see some sound ones that are available for cheap, and I think this one you could hear it, riding along, and also you get the station announcements, which I like. So, but that is it. We are now getting close to an hour. Here's another one for July 2024. You got the 225, the 100 A seats. Okay, 683. You got the Thunderbird right here. That is a classic Thunderbird right there. That's an N-gauge. Okay, I have a Thunderbird, but this one, I like how it looks really cool. You just see it this way on its side, but yeah, I do have a few Thunderbirds. But yeah, man, this is pretty awesome. And here's another Shinkansen on sale right here, the Kato. That's pretty cool. The W7 is probably the one that you're going to see the most, especially for Plarail collectors or Shinkansen collectors. They do release sets. Speaking of that, let me see if I can bring that right here. I just need to see if it's happening. Because this might be a way for you to take advantage of. Let's see here. It's gone up in price. Well, it's not so bad, but okay, let's do this. Okay, let me get it ready for you guys here. Okay. They're called Tomix first sets, and there are a few that you do want to get cheap, and this is probably the cheapest of them all, but it was a lot better just 6, 7 months ago when it was like like almost like $35, 50. But okay, here it is, right here. See if we can get this right here. So this is a set right here of the DC 511. You can get this on. You can get this on Amazon for $94.34. That is about $60 right now because the yen is even weaker. So yeah, it's a $60 to get this full train set. You get the cargo trains, and then you get the tracks, and then you get a controller. So just to let you know what the controller is, this is probably, yeah, this is the first set. They can't. There's no way. Okay, you get the train, you get the tracks, you get these cargos with the Kokis, which is a plus. Okay, and you get the controller. But always with the first sets, these controllers, there's a limit. You could probably go up to here, like the 30-40% mark. The reason why is because they know that a lot of parents are going to buy these for their kids, and the last thing they want is kids putting in full blast where the heavy train flies off and hits another kid in the face or something. You don't want that, so they make it. It's a safety factor, but it's definitely worth it though. And here's the Tomix tracks right here. It's just easy to connect. But yeah, that's actually a very good price. Actually, this is a newer set because the previous set that was on sale last year was the ED61 2. This one's the same way. You got the controller that goes up to here, and then you got the switch, and it comes with a few cargo units, and has the pantograph. So, but this one's actually a very good one, the DC 511, with the cargo, and it's a good cargo train. You know what? There's a chance that these new basic sets actually does not have the limiter. Possibly. I mean, that is a big... Hold on here. Because if they started doing that right now, that is going to be even better for fans. Because, let me check right here. Because the thing is that, again, if you're an adult, you definitely do not, let's see here. With original call control, you can move forward, reverse, and adjust speed as you wish. Yep, there's no more limiter. That is freaking awesome. For $60, you're getting a good deal right there. But no, you still get the oval track right here, the full oval, the cargo, and you get the DC51. Darn, that is actually very good. So yeah, if you want to get your first train set, this is the one to get right here. If you only want to pay $60, KATO also has their own beginner sets. Let's see here if I can get it. Let's see if the price is still comparable to last time. I don't see it, but let's see here. KATO beginner set. I don't see it anymore. I just see the standard tracks. But they used to have these sets. Well, you do have it, but it's, well, okay. Let's bring this up right here. Okay, this is a 2024 release right here for Kato's set right here. So you got the E5 Shinkansen Hayabusa, most popular Shinkansen in Japan. Fast one too. Some people may know it, especially if you live in Tokyo, as Yamabiko. But the Hayabusa is the name. You get a big oval track, you get an awesome controller, and you get yeah, you get a Shinkansen, man. You get E5 series, and you also get the catalog, the latest catalog, which is usually $20. But this one goes for 14,960 yen. So 14,960 yen comes to $95.22. So it's about $35 more than the Tomix one. But you get a Shinkansen. So it really depends on you. You get the power pack. The Kato power packs are awesome. I think these are definitely recommended for speed. They work great. But again, they only work on Kato tracks. The power controllers, you just want to make sure that if you use it for Tomix, your controller is only good for Tomix tracks and Kato only for Kato tracks. So just know that in advance. But yeah, I think we have pretty much nailed things down for this episode, for this first episode of season 2. And if anything, I just want to say thank you for everyone who supported the podcast. There are not, it's a very niche thing to talk about trains. And I know in Japan there are people who are fans of trains, some who are more fans of by the way, the picture of this Hayabusa is not correct. The only reason why it's looking kind of dull is because I have the chroma key on in order to make the green screen work. So the green is kind of eliminated. So sorry about that. But for the most part, yeah, just definitely check Amazon for the best prices if there's a certain train that interests you. Check out Kato or check out the Tomix site, or even check out the Takara Tomy's Plarail site for good deals. There are other train makers, of course, but I think starting off, I just want to do the main ones, because there are other ones that a lot of people buy, like Greenmax and what's the other ones? Now I'm just like, my head is like going crazy because my head's saying micro machines, not micro machines. But for the most part, it's there's so many other train makers out there. But right now, I just have to say that if you are a big fan of trains and have been wanting to get into model trains, especially Japanese model trains, now is the time to do it while the yen is weak. Because once that yen goes back, um, goes back down, that means that we're going to be on an equal level. For those of you who are in Europe or in America, I think that's one thing that people are expecting. You just don't know how long Japan's going to continue to be like this, because it's right now it's really terrible for their economy. It's just been going on for way too long, and I know the government has been trying to find ways to make things better. But last I checked, let's see here, Market Watch. Here we go. There we go. Japanese yen, 157.12. That is terrible. My goodness. So what does that mean? Means more money for those of you. You guys get to save more money. Well, yeah, 157 is, yikes. That's terrible. And if it ever gets to the 160 mark, oh my gosh, I don't know. That's just bad for Japan. But They'll need to figure this out. Things just are not getting any better. I mean, back then it was just when we were doing the last podcast episode. I believe it was at least 143 to 144. Now it's 157. So yes, your dollar and your whatever your currency is may definitely have more mileage. So may you be a train fan, video game fan, or whatever. Definitely take advantage of it. And if anything, there's just so many trains out there. Just make sure to not go crazy. Um, Plarail, definitely check that out if you do want to collect trains, but do not want to spend that much, or do not have the room to have a diorama. Then definitely go for that. Now, is there even something even cheaper than Plarail? Yes, it's called Trains, TRAINZ, and those are die-cast metal. So, like, think about Hot Wheels, but trains. That's a cheap alternative right there. But if anything, just definitely stay within Gauge or Plarail and or Plarail World Class, and you should be good. It should be affordable for you. But then once you start wanting to develop your collection, if you want to go HO or X or other uh, skills, then albeit, all power to you. But for the most part, I think that's about it. We are now 106 minutes for this episode. Uh, pretty much you all take care, and I'll see you later. See you later, everyone. Bye bye. And as we always end with the episode, well, for the other ones, I'll do the same one here too. Wink, wink. Aww.